The way I see it is people that are really, really good at factoring will have all of my problems broken down into three categories. People that are just good and getting by should have it in two categories. There's the short ones and the long ones. So, um, first off, we're going to look, there's no GCF. Nothing can divide evenly into 10, 47, and 9. So we checked, but we moved past that. Because this is a three term, what do? Forget all that stuff I talked about square roots. Forget, erase that from memory. What do? Go back in time a week.
No, you square root it.
No, stop that. I wish I could never had said anything about square roots ever. Take it, erase it. Here, you remember Men in Black with the neuralizer pen? Okay, I'm going to put on my sunglasses. There, you've been neuralized. Forget all that stuff about square roots. Once you figured out it's not a difference of squares, because it's got three terms, shells. That's what's going to get us through this quiz is to say, I just need to make the yellow thing. Nothing else matters at this point in time. It will. So what are our shells going to say?
Three and one.
I agree with you. So there's one set of shells that could potentially be 10K and 1K like this. However, number 3 is a pooper of a problem because there's another potential set of shells that say what? Right. If these are not your least favorite, then you just haven't quite gotten there yet. Because at some point, when all the smoke clears and you see factoring for what it is, the trinomials with the non-prime in the front will always be the ones that suck the most. Step 2, what are the signs?
All pluses.
And you're sure.
I'm positive.
You'd bet the house. As well, you should. If the number in the back is a plus, there's no way there's one of each, and then the one in the middle tells us what they both are. So I can safely and confidently put a plus. I could even use a pen to do that because I know that is true. And then comes the last step, and that is to try and err. I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. I've never done this problem before. I'm in it with you. So what is it they say? I'm here for it, or something. Is that what they say on the internet? I say something. I don't know what it is, what the saying is, but I'm in. Where do you want me to put the threes? Top 3. I'm in. Here I go. Boom. So to check it to see if it works, I use my purples. I do the outside purple and I do the inside purple. Right? And I just check. What do the outside purples make? What do the inside purples make? 30 and 3 make 33, so we can call that a fail, right? Okay, no big deal. What else would you like to try? The fact that you're sitting there staring at it tells me that either you're lost, which I don't think you are, or you're starting to get better at this. Because now what you're doing is you're saying, I don't want to waste any more time. I don't want to sit here and stare at this and just blindly guess. That's good. You're transitioning into becoming a better factorer. So where?
I I on the bottom or right by the 2K.
I agree. So now see you're starting to see it from a correct perspective. The fact that you put 9 here, that was not a guess, was it? This 9 buffs with this 5 to make 45. That's how we know we're starting to get good at this, is we're not just blindly throwing darts in a dark room. You did that on purpose to make 45. And then you knew that if you put a 1 here, that this would make 2, and you know that 45 and 2 make 47. So factoring is a guessing game, but it becomes less so the better we get, right? Yeah. And we already know all the obvious stuff. Like we know that these make 10K squared and we know that these make 9. Duh. It's the purples that work the magic. GCF, step 1. Step 2, identify your opponent. If it's got 3 terms like this, it's going to be a build the shells and roll with it kind of guy. If it's got 2 terms like number 4, then it's that special thing called the difference of two squares. And I can go over that with you whenever you're ready, or if you'd like, whatever, just let me know. Okay.
Thank you.
Plus minus 37
One problem.
X.
Okay, you're 2 worksheets behind, so that's the so. If you don't understand it, that's what.
minus 24.
See, now we can build the shells. And I need you to understand that the math problem and now has nothing to do with that 2. It's not the 2. It's what's left in the parentheses. This thing I'm underlining in red is our math problem now. The 2 just is going to sit there and stick it on the back burner and let it simmer for a while while we cook the rest of the meal. Got it? You with me? So we're going to build shells off of the big shell. And what's going to be in the shells?
5x and then x.
Great. Now I'm going to pause the video here for a second. I think that's good for you. Good. And that was very healthy how you did that. Now, I'm not going to be there on the quiz to catch you when you say minus on both. You're going to have to catch it yourself, but you saved it. You did a great job. That negative in the back on the 24 is everything. It has nothing to do with these. It's all the negative in the back. And because he's negative, then there is definitively one of each. And you can put them in either order you want as long as you've got one of each. Because at the end of the day, if we have the plus and then the minus, and then we turns out we have to switch them, that's what erasers are for. Because I don't know what the answer is at this point. I don't even care right now. That doesn't matter. So you've survived, I think, 3 steps so far. Step 1, and they all are non-negotiable. Step 1, you pulled out your GCF. Step 2, you built your shells and stuck your 5x and 1x. And then the big test, test 3, is you knew the signs were one of each. What is the final push?
Trial and error.
And what are we trying to multiply to make?
74.
Oh,
No, 48.
no.
42.
I don't even know where you're getting a 48 from.
Oh, no, 37.
No.
24.
Yeah. Listen, the fact that you're talking about numbers like 48 tells me that you're still looking at the original problem, which is no longer, yeah, it shouldn't even be in our thoughts. So when you multiply, you're making the number in the back 24. And I don't have to say negative 24 because I've already got the signs to back it up. So what do you want to try?
Let's try 4 times 6.
It's fine with me. And how do you want me to put them?
4 first and then end it for showing.
So like this, is that okay? I've got no issues at all with that. Because they make 24. Let's test it and see if it works. Do you know how to test?
Yeah.
Okay.
5 times 6.
5 times.
30.
Okay, good.
X.
Yep.
4 times x, I think 4x, which makes it 4x.
No, try again. Negative 30 plus 4 does not equal 34.
30.
The common factor is
Well, no, then it'd be minus 4 because it's still a negative number. So it's minus negative 30, it's minus 4.
So what do the 2 in the middle make?
2 normally.
So I'm going to write that down. And you are every time going to write these down as well. And I might, when I look at your quiz, see 3 or 4 different iterations of this process where you do the purples and then write them down and then add them together. What's negative 30 plus 4? Correct. And since negative 26x is obviously not what we wanted, then we can chalk that up as a fail. And that's okay. Part of the deal. All right, what else you want to try?
How about 3 times 8?
I'm fine. Like I said, I'm up for whatever. So you pick. And you want me to put them in the order that you said? 3 here, 8 here. No issues at all. Okay, so let's do the thing again. What do the 2 on the outside make?
That makes Negative 40.
Okay, I'll write that down. What do the two in the close middle make?
Positive 3x.
Okay, help me add those together. I'm terrible at adding. What do we get?
Well, negative 40 plus 3x is negative 37x.
And then let's look at the problem. What were we trying to get?
Negative 37x.
What's that mean?
That would be positive.
We did. The only way to lose a point from this point on is if you go like this. I want you to watch. If you put a box around this, I'm going to be so heartbroken, but I have to take a point off. Do you know why? Because I forgot my GCF. The GCF is part of the answer. Okay, it's easy to forget about him because once he's out, we don't really think about him, but he is part of the factorization, so he needs to stick around. I really want you to try one on your own. I believe in you.
Stop.
So you agree we're going to divide all the terms by 4.
Yeah.
And then you're going to help me because I'm really vexed by division. Anything bigger than like 8 and I panic. So help me out here. What is the first term, the 24x squared, going to become? Oh, good. I'm glad because see, I would have said like 11. So how about the second one? 68 divided by 4.
That'd be like 14.
No.
No.
I think it's like 57 or something.
7.
Oh, there you go. That's what I meant. 17. And then at the back, we got a minus 56. And 56 divided by 4, I think is like 62 or something.
That one's the 14.
So again, what we find here is that this is the math problem. Do you understand what we're going to do with the 4?
What?
What are we going to do with the 4 out front?
We're gonna drop it down, right?
Yeah, it's essentially it's just in timeout. Like we're casting it aside and saying, you're of no concern to me. The math problem is now what's underlined in purple. And I don't think you probably are as confused as you think you are. But since there's 3 terms, what do we do? Something you find on the beach.
Shells.
My favorite. Shells. Build your shells.
Yeah, we forgot to do that.
You forgot?
Just try to skip it. It's great.
Skip what?
Dividing them all.
What?
I know.
And you can, if you want to, just put your 4s down now, or just don't forget later when you find the answer to bring it down. It doesn't matter as long as it gets into your answer box, right?
Yeah.
What are the signs going to be?
Different,
Okay, why?
because there's both negatives. The back number is 2 minutes.
It is. Why did I put a plus there? I'm not as worried about you as I was 10 seconds ago. That was my bad. Good. So there is definitely one of each. And I like to always test plus minus because I'm boring. But if you put them the other way, one of us will have to switch. No one cares. Factoring is pretty open-ended. Like now it's a fail fest at this point. Like try stuff, right? What's the final objective? What's the final thing we have to do?
Get numbers to match the last 2 numbers.
Yeah, and honestly, the first priority, really, the only one we're going to say we're in control of is the 14. I just want to make 14. And if the 17 in the middle happens to happen, then I win. But that's not, it's so hard to explain this. 17 is not the primary objective. 14 is. We control 14. 2, 7, 7, 2, 1, 14, whatever. We control when then we hope for the negative 17. So when kids say, I need your help, my take is always, you don't, because if you could get this far, you know how to factor.
Just doing them.
Yeah. Like, I just want you to help me find the numbers. And at the end of the day, there's 8 things. If you're the world's most unlucky student, you'd have to test 1, 14, 14, 1, 2, 7, 7, 2. And that's 8 things because you have to test all 4 of those in both of the templates. But I mean, if I were to catch you testing this, then I would know that you have no idea what you're doing. Like the factoring is lost on you, right? So there are 8 things to test, but honestly, quite a few of them are pretty ridiculously stupid. So,
7 by the +3,
okay,
and then 2 by the negative.
I'm down. Let's try it. Does it work?
Oh, no, not that part.
It's terrible, but that's part of the deal.
No. 4.
Okay. Okay. So you want a 14 and a 1 instead of a 7 and a 2. I'm down.
Oh, shoot. I am. Ooh.
It's okay. That's even worse. But if we're not comfortable saying that out loud, then you're never going to be good at factoring if you let pride get in the way of failure. Like, just accept it. It was a terrible guess, but it's okay because it's one less thing we got to check later, right? You got 28 minus 25. You're 42 away from the correct one. That's okay. Keep going. I can tell you this from my own experience that where it's really easy for a kid to get frustrated is they say, I already tried 7 and 2, and then we move on. But understand that trying 7 and 2 is not the same as trying 2 and 7. And in the years I've been doing this, it's really easy and it's heartbreaking to watch a kid who thinks, what, I've already tried those, and you throw them out with the dishwater, and it's like, oh, hold on a second there. Just because you tried 7 and then 2 doesn't mean it's not going to work the other way around. You picking up what I'm putting down? What do the 2 on the outside make? Negative 21. And what do the 2 in the middle make? And what's negative 21 plus 4? So, I mean, I guess I can provide a little bit of guidance as your teacher to tell you that you need to be thorough. Like if you try 2 and 7, make sure you try 2, 7, 7, 2, 2, 7, 7, 2. Like if you're going to say 7 and 2, you're dead to me, you better be able to say I've tried it everywhere and in every order. Because there it is. So the final answer is in the yellow box. Done. Got it?
Yeah.
So the first category for you, this is what's going to get you through this quiz, you and about 40 other people. The first category, by the way, before what I'm saying is always GCL. Like you get a greatest common factor out no matter how many terms there are. Are we clear?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if there's 2 terms or 3 or 4 or 9 or whatever. There's always look for a GCF. After that, your problem will fall into one of 2 categories. The first category is 3 terms where you might have something like this. And, you don't have to write this down, but like that. Do you see how it's got all 3 first term, middle term, back term? These are the ones where we build shells and we try and we fail, right? You with me?
Yeah.
Where we just plug in the stuff that we know and we look at the sign in the back, and then so that's category number 1. Category number 2 is we have a name for it from our notes from a long time ago, and it has 2 terms, and it's called the difference of 2 squares. And with the difference of 2 squares, our thinking is going to be different. Our thinking is going to be that I'm still going to build shells. I'm still going to build a shell and another shell. However, this is not a guessing game. The one on the left of the red curtain is a guessing game. Do you understand that? I need you to embrace that is a guessing game, and it becomes an intelligent guessing game if we practice like we're supposed to be. On the right side of the curtain, you don't need to guess because the difference of squares follows a very particular pattern. You ready? You sure? So you pulled out a 3 on number 1, and what was left over in your parentheses?
9x squared minus 1.
Good. So this is a difference of 2 squares, and the way you factor it down is like this. you're going to identify that this is called a square. What is the square root of 9x squared?
3.
Thank you. So you're going to take that and you're going to put it right here and you're going to put it right here. Then I'm going to circle something else. The 1. What's the square root of 1?
1.
You're going to put that here and you're going to put that here. Are you still with me?
Yeah.
What's fun about this is if you get this, if you understand what I'm saying right now, there's about 4 or 5 problems on the quiz that you're going to get right. And you don't even have to hardly even try because you just do them the same every time. The final stage is look at this. That's a minus sign. Put a plus in one and a minus in the other and you're done. Problem over. Oh, except I forgot to bring down my GCF. So there. If you understand that, that should mean that problems 4, 6, 16, those should be like free points. Differences.
6 is non-GCF.
Just no.
6 has a GCF, and then it's a difference of squares.
All right, that makes sense. Thank
Okay.
you.
No problem.
Just-
Number 8. What do we do? Nope. What's interesting about this?
Grab your stuff.
So, thank you very much. So you would agree that we're going to take a 4 and we're going to pull it out of there, right? Okay. And that's going to be what we do first every single time. So what's left of the 4n squared? Okay, so right here, there used to be a 4n squared. What's left of it when we
Sounds like my door used to.
hold on, let me pause this real quick. So what's left of the 4n squared if we pull out the 4? So that goes right here. Okay, there used to be a plus 36n in the center. What's left of that if we divide out a 4? $10.54. No, 36. But you should really have a calculator out at all times. Okay, well then you, okay, I have to pause it again because it's 9. And then at the end of it, we have a minus 40. And then what's that when we divide it down by 4? This is what our new math problem looks like. And now I'm ready for the answer you tried to give me 4 minutes ago. What do we do? Correct. So the shells are once we have the GCF out of the way. And what are we going to put in our shells? And what are the signs going to be? Do you see this sign right here? I want you to understand that nothing else matters in this problem. No. The 2 numbers that we're going to pick are going to multiply to make the sign I just circled. And again, this goes back to the basics, the things that we learned years ago. And that is that there are 2 blanks right here. There's a blank right here and one right here. And those numbers are going to multiply by each other at some point. And they're going to multiply to make a negative. And if I said to you, make me a multiplication problem with a number times a number, and I need the answer to be a negative, what would you do? It's literally got to be one of each, correct? And we understand that because of the 10. This conversation has nothing to do with the 9. This is just about the 10 in the back. And if he's negative, then I can safely say that there's one of each, and there's that.
So when I was in my head, like when I was thinking about that, I did put it in, okay. Just acknowledge myself.
So it's all about the number in the back. And now, if you can survive those steps, like I told Keith a while ago, step 1, you pulled out a GCF. Step 2, you made your shells. Step 3, you got the signs. Those are all hurdles that we have to clear to get to the problem now, which should theoretically be the only part of the problem that causes us any stress. And that's just the guess and check part. What are we trying to multiply to make?
So it's 1 and 10.
So you want 1 here and 10 here?
Yeah.
Okay,
Because plus 10, I mean, the negative 10,
okay.
then you bring the plus. you bring 40.
So let's check. What do those make? Okay, I'm gonna write that down and you should too. Every time you test, you should write them down. What do these ones make?
Oh, I wrote it wrong.
And now I need your help with adding. What's negative 10 plus 1? Right, but see, this is why writing things down is so critical, because for some reason you were going to stick with the other one, but maybe seeing it like this is what you need. Is like, I got to see that going out the wrong way. We didn't want -9, did we? We wanted +9. So to make it right, see, switch the signs. Take your plus minus, make it minus plus, and then rest assured that since you got the right number, but it was like the wrong sign, you don't have to recheck it now. You know it's going to work because you switch the signs. So the final answer is in this box.
Well, that's actually a good story.